Hey, Junction City Today fans, greetings. I'm your host, Craig Bielik, just like it says right there. And today I'm joined with a friend, Mike and Anaya. I've known Mike for a while.
A couple of years now.
Right, with MBA Wealth Strategy, right?
Yes, sir. Mm-hmm.
Right, and we're going to talk life insurance, aren't we? Right, now wait, don't turn off your channel. Don't change the channel, don't turn off your TV. This is interesting stuff.
It will be interesting. I know life insurance
stuff.
is not the most exciting thing in the world, but we'll make it as interesting as possible.
Right, so it's not the most exciting thing in the world, but it's
not.
something that you need.
Absolutely it is.
Right. And most people, I'll bet you, half the people out there watching, in fact, way more than half, have no clue what their life insurance policy is right now, right?
That's true. In fact, I think the statistics
I don't know.
are something
I don't
like
even know what mine is.
Yeah, well, 70% of people don't have, or if they have life insurance, they have it through work. And they just sign up, when they get their employment and they don't know what it is or what they're signing up for. They have no idea how much. And most of those people are, I'd say probably 80% of those people are underinsured.
Right. I mean, take a moment out there right now and ask yourself, how much life insurance do I have? Okay, well, let's see. I got $100,000. That's good, right? I'm fine.
Probably not. No, only if you're making $10,000 a year.
Because it sounds like a lot.
It does sound like a lot, and you get into these big numbers. And when I talk to my clients about you need $1 million policy or $1.5 million, like their eyes just glaze over. And they think that's so much money, but it's really not when you calculate it out. And most people don't spend the time to calculate out how much life insurance they need. What's even worse is, the husband or the wife, whoever the breadwinner is, will have the most of the insurance, which kind of makes sense,
right?
But they don't have enough on their spouse. And you think in the dual roles of, today's society, you never know who's going to go first, and if the wife is not working or the husband's not working or whatever it is, they may need just as much life insurance as the one working.
Right. So if you're going to sit down and calculate it, how do you start? I mean, do you say, well, I earn this much a year, so I've got to have that much for the next 40 years, or do you go, I spend this much on the house and this much on celery and this much on the car? I mean, people don't track how much they spend on celery. True. I'm going to tell you that right now.
I do eat a lot of celery, though.
You know what? I can tell. You look like a celery guy. So how do you do it? I mean,
there's a lot of different ways. The way I teach my clients is we use an acronym called LIFE. Okay. LIFE. So I know, right? So LIFE, the L is for your loans. So you calculate all of your loans. Your mortgage, your car loans, student loans, anything that
gambling loans with Vinny.
Exactly. Well, you may not count those, but if you want to, depending on what your relationship is with Vinny. And then the I is for income. So the amount of years that you're going to need to continue to work. So if you're 45 years old and you're going to retire at 65, you need 20 years worth of that income. So if you're making $100,000 a year, that's $2 million just on the I section. Okay, does that make sense?
Oh yeah, no, I got it.
And the F is for your funeral or final expenses. So is it going to cost $5,000 to bury or cremate you, or do you want the coup de grace of
I want the Viking boat thing.
There you go.
I want to sail out with flaming arrows being shot. Can you give me a bid on that? That's what I want.
You may not be dead before they shoot the flaming arrows.
All right. So loans, income. Was that the I?
Loans, income, final expenses, and E would be for educational. So, and that could be education for your kids. Do you want to pay for your kids' education or your spouse's education? Let's say your spouse has a bachelor's but may need to get a master's or a doctorate or whatever it is. If you want to pay for pay Weber State to
if you got grandkids,
education.
Maybe you want grandkids. Maybe
whatever that education looks like. And so basically you write out each of those, what those numbers are, and you total it are. And I promise you that number is going to be higher than what you expect.
So, but the problem with that, as I see it, because I'm a cheap guy, is that once I get that number, it's going to be like, let's say it's $4 million. I'm going to go, I can't afford $4 million worth of life insurance because I'm going to have to probably pay 10% of that a year or something like that. I can't do that. Is that true? That isn't true.
Is what true?
I mean, can I really afford that? Can I afford $4 million in insurance?
Okay, but you may not need. I mean, no offense, but you're an older guy. You're older than me.
Interview's over. Thanks for joining us today, folks. I've got to go because I'm feeling decrepit. No, I know I get what you're saying. I know you get what you're saying.
You may need $1 million.
Right.
Okay. But there again, just because you need $1 million, we also back it up and look, say, okay, what's that premium going to be? And the premium has to be affordable, because if that premium is going to be too much, we don't want that sticker shock. You need to be able to have the type of insurance that you need.
Right.
So is that term? Is it universal? Is it whole life? What does that look like from a cost basis too?
Well, and it's different in life stages. Like you say, my needs are different than my son's needs. Because my son right now is 30 years old, doesn't have a family, he's just getting started, all that kind of stuff. It's not a one-size-fits-all.
It absolutely is not. And that's why it's important to calculate what you have. So, the people that have insurance through their employers, it's a great insurance. However, we always, and this is not just, I'm not saying this because I sell life insurance, but everybody should have their own life insurance outside of their employment, because you switch jobs, you lose jobs. All these other things change, but the life insurance need typically doesn't.
Right.
Not initially. It does over time.
Right. Okay, one of the things I want to do is put your website on the camera right now. Look at this. Boom. Look at that. That's amazing.
That was pretty slick.
Well, it's really amazing to an old guy. It's technology. Woo! Really amazing stuff. But this is where they could get a lot of more information from you. And, of course, people, they could pick up the phone and call you and talk to you about this, right?
And my contact information is on the website.
Right. What is the number one question people ask you when you sit down and they start talking about life insurance?
Probably the difference between term and whole life.
Okay. Great. You want to explain? Because I don't know.
So the easiest way to explain it is term is like renting your insurance. Mm-hmm. You buy it for a term. It's a 10-year, 20-year, 30-year term. So you have a level premium for a specific period of time. So it's like renting your house. Okay, you don't own anything in it. You pay that premium, kind of like your car insurance too. Right. You pay that premium, and you never get anything out of it unless
you use it.
Unless you use it, and you don't want to use it, right? Whole life is what we call permanent insurance, and it's like owning it. You own your house, so you build equity in your house. Whole life, same thing. So there's couple of components to it. One is you have the death benefit. So if something were to happen to you, 10 years, 20 years, or whatever, your beneficiaries get the death benefit. Mm-hmm. However, let's say you live a long time, you're building cash value, kind of almost like an internal savings account. You're going to build cash value that you can use for whatever you want to use it for. So you have a lot of living benefits with it as well.
That is the best explanation I've ever heard of that. I'm not kidding you, because I've had people say, well, this builds that and that. Yeah. I love that, renting versus owning. Mm-hmm. And at times in your life, sometimes you got to rent, sometimes you got to own.
Yeah, and sometimes you do a little of both. It's like I said, one size does not fit all, because you can, maybe you need, like your son, for example, somebody in their 20s and 30s that has kids may need a large death benefit, but their budget isn't huge. So they start out with term, and then they can gradually, it's kind of like buying, you're going to rent the whole house, but you're going to, over the years, buy each room. So eventually in 20, 30 years, you own the whole house.
Oh, okay, cool.
It's a rent-to-own plan.
I had no idea about that. See, you guys didn't think insurance was going to be interesting, did you?
How exciting is this?
We just already proved that was wrong.
Right? Yeah.
Mike would love to talk to you more about this.
I would.
And
absolutely.
There's that website again. A phone number? Do you have one that you want to throw out there just in case?
I do. It's 505-252-0213.
Right. He can talk to you about your needs, your particular needs. He'll take you on. Young, old person like me.
Yeah.
And
so speaking of old people like you, so long-term care insurance is probably one of the most confusing insurances out there. And we do sell a lot of long-term care insurance.
Explain that. Explain long-term care.
So everybody has a parent or a grandparent or something that has been in, what we call an old age home or a nursing home or something like that, or needed in-home care. And so what long-term care insurance does is it helps pay for that care. Mm-hmm. To be in a nursing home can cost anywhere from $3,000 to, you can go up to $8,000 or $9,000 a month.
A month.
Just for care, depending on the level of care they need. So buying this insurance, you're paying pennies on the dollar for the care that you might need later. And chances are, again, it's like 60-something% of the people in the United States will need long-term care at some point.
And it's pretty inexpensive, right?
It can be, yeah.
I've seen plans that are seriously like $10 a month or something.
Yeah,
like that.
And the earlier you get it, the younger you are, the cheaper it is. So, a lot of people wait until they're over 50 or over 60, and I always recommend, if you're in your 40s and, it's not for everybody. You have to qualify for it, and sometimes it's hard to get. So the younger you are, if you're in your 40s and 50s, that's really a prime time to get it. However, I mean, I have a lot of clients in their 60s that buy it too.
People can live that long? I had no idea.
They can, even into their 70s, Craig. See, you have a lot to look
They can be
forward
as old
to.
as me. Yeah, they can be as old as me when they get there. Junction City today, my guest has been Mike Anaya with MBA Wealth Strategies. There's the website one more time. Mike can help you. Let this guy work with you. Sit down with him at the table like this. He won't insult you. He won't call you old, I promise. And he'll work through your insurance needs and get you what you want, because one size does not fit all.
I appreciate it.
I appreciate
Thanks,
you
Craig.
coming in,
All
Mike.
right, you're a good
It's
guy.
great. Yeah, and we'll see you next time on Junction City Today. I'm your host, Craig Mielek.